transformation is not a destination, it's a journey. One big challenge, where to start. And our belief in the context of digital transformation is there are 5 essential capabilities.
สวัสดีครับขอต้อนรับเข้าสู่ CIO Business Talk นะครับวันนี้ผมอยู่ที่เซนต์ลีจิสนะครับมีโอกาสที่ได้สัมภาษณ์กับผู้บริหารท่านหนึ่งที่เป็นเบอร์ต้นๆในธุรกิจที่ปรึกษาเรื่อง Digital Transformation นะครับท่านนี้เนี่ยบินข้ามน้ำข้ามทะเลมาประเทศไทยเพื่อที่จะมาร่วมกิจกรรมสำคัญแล้ววันนี้ผมมีโอกาสดีที่ได้สัมภาษณ์กับท่านผู้นี้ครับขอต้อนรับนะครับคุณไนเจลวัสนะครับ CEO จาก Publicist ไซเปียนนะครับสวัสดีครับ Welcome to Thailand and thanks for having me today to interview with you.
That's great.
I have a couple of questions that I think you should answer the best for me.
Sure. Okay. Looking forward to that.
Yeah, thank you. The first question is, please give me some overview of the digital transformation right now in the world and in Thailand.
When you think about digital transformation fundamentally, what it really simply means is businesses becoming ready for a world that is increasingly digital. And Thailand is no different than any other country that we're seeing around the world. Almost every single thing that we do on a daily basis today has the opportunity to become something that is reimagined for a world that looks very different today than it did. So I'll give you some simple examples. Why is it that you need to go into a bank to open a bank account when you don't go into an Apple store to open an iTunes account? Mm-hmm. How is it that when you actually need to get a mortgage, to get a loan to buy a house, it takes sometimes 10 or 12 days, and in the time period you lose the house because somebody else has already bought it with cash. Every one of these things, most people forget their card, ATM card, cash card at home, and they go outside, they have no cash. Why can't you get money using your phone? Mm-hmm. And if you think about all of these examples, some of these are new, some of these are older. Every part of society today can be reimagined using digital. So digital transformation is nothing but essentially thinking about how a business can be reimagined for this new world. And our belief is that in order to do that, businesses mustn't just take what they do today and digitize it. They have the opportunity to fundamentally reimagine it. So across industries, from travel and hospitality to healthcare, retail, even government and public sector, how citizens interact with the government is changing. In Thailand today, whether it's financial services or food delivery, mm-hmm. digital businesses have the opportunity to create employment. They have the opportunity to create and benefit people that historically were not being served by companies. So I think it's a huge opportunity generally.
As we know, digital transformation and the pandemic drive our business go to digital mm-hmm. completely, and I think there are some room for improvement.
When you think about the room that companies have to think about their transformation journey, fundamentally a lot of companies today are dealing with lots of different things. A lot of people equate digital transformation with technology, and digital transformation is so much broader. Fundamentally, what digital transformation is about is creating the ability to continuously evolve and continually change in the context of organizations, and then build the capability to drive that change. So if you think about both those parts, right, some of the big success factors for organizations to kind of get to grips with, how do you change the culture of an organization from one that makes decisions top down to kind of creating a decentralized environment where good ideas can come to the top of the organization. Another is how do you build the capabilities, design capability, engineering capability, product capability, all of these strategic data and AI, strategic capabilities. How do you bring these capabilities into an organization in order to start to give them the ability to build and create in this new world? Funding and how you actually allocate budgets. We talk about agility sometimes, but agility is also about organizational agility. Can an organization shift and change in a very rapid way. If you look at a lot of digital businesses, for them this is nascent. This is how they've always, this is inherent, this is native, this is how they've always been. But it's nascent in a lot of traditional businesses. It's just beginning. So a lot of these areas have to be established in order to lead a successful transformation.
I think the transformation is have many a problem and pain point. What is the pain point that you have seen from outer world and in Thailand?
Yeah, just to give you a simple challenge, right? So many organizations know that digital is important.
Yes.
They know that it's very important for many areas of the organizations to transform, sometimes even the entire company. But one big challenge, where to start? How do you actually start? How do you make sure that when you start, you don't take on too much and deliver nothing? Or you deliver something so small that it's not actually transforming the organization. It's transforming a small part of the organization. That's one big challenge. The second I was talking about earlier is how do you identify and build talent? How do you find, create, nurture, develop talent? It's a big challenge. A third is how do you create priorities that long term are transformational, but in the short and medium term allow you to take steps towards that. What we talk about is transformation is not a destination, it's a journey. So it's a constant journey. But as you go on through that constant journey, what you have to figure out is that the process to get to that journey is incremental. So the steps are incremental, but the outcome has to be transformational. That's another thing that lots of people struggle with. You choose something too big and too far away and takes too long, you don't sometimes deliver the transformation. You start too small with very small steps and you're not being transformational enough. Another example is funding and budgets, really understanding how to prioritize long-term strategic shifts with short-term objectives and goals. One of the biggest challenges for particularly established businesses is the stock markets and investors treat them very differently than digital businesses. Digital businesses are given a long runway to not make profits as long as they grow. A lot of traditional businesses don't have this luxury. So these are some of the examples.
Which is the biggest pain point?
I'd say if I had to pick the biggest pain point right now, I would say is the inability to build the capability through either partners or internal talent for most organizations. So if you think about it, you're a car company or you're a retailer. You're not in the business of technology or being digital. You're in the business of making cars. But what happens when fundamentally making cars is moving from being about hardware to software? Today a car is nothing but a platform. You move from combustion vehicle and combustion engines to electric vehicle platforms. Now all of the technology and the know-how is about software, not about pistons and cams and hardware. And that shift, if you're a car company, means it's not a small shift, it's an existential shift, a fundamental shift. And I think a lot of folks really struggle with how to reimagine their business and have the capability to drive this continuous change.
I have heard before that earlier, many companies in the world wants to move themselves to digital business, and I heard again, publicists can help their company, the company. Could you please give me some case study or success case that you help your client?
Sure. If you look at firstly our joint venture, I'll start here in Thailand with Sime Commercial Bank. We built SCB TechX in order to help create Sime Commercial Bank's vision of building what is the largest fintech business in Southeast Asia. So going from effectively a bank to a business that is in lots and lots of different industries, starting to create huge disruptions. And if you look at their CEO's vision, his vision is of fundamentally not only transforming what it used to be, but lots of industries that they enter to create disruptive change. Robinhood in the food delivery space is just one example where we've partnered together. And if you look at what that's done, it's completely transformed the landscape of food delivery in Thailand, creating huge amounts of employment for people in Thailand, so it's good for the country and good for the economy, while at the same time helping Siam Commercial Bank become a data-first, technology-led fintech business. And that's a huge shift for something that was Thailand's oldest bank. You know, that kind of shift, it's pretty significant. I'll give you an example in a different industry, Marriott. We are in a Marriott hotel today. We're sitting in the wonderful St. Regis in Bangkok. And Marriott is a phenomenal example of this transformation. They're a client of ours and have been for a while. And they're essentially the shift that they're making is to fundamentally reimagine hospitality through digital. Today in this hotel, you can get a key to your room on your phone. You can check in online. They start with something that's frictionless, but then if you look at Marriott, they've also built a whole new digital platform-based business called Homes and Villas, which essentially allows them to compete with the likes of VRBO and Airbnb in the home rental market. And that's a significant business growing really fast. And these are examples of established businesses really becoming leaders in the digital world.
I think digital transformation is not about only products and service. It's about the employee also. That they can make more efficiency for employee,
Sure.
for the board, for the management also, right? Do you have anything like success about the efficiency for the organization that can improve themselves?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, start with another industry, healthcare, as an example. You know, today, so much of medicine, from drug discovery to patient care, is augmented by technology. So many times people think about technology in competition with people. But our belief is it allows people to do the most higher value, most interesting work leveraging technology. So in the context of cancer, for example, now you have artificial intelligence looking at radiology scans of cancer, providing input to radiologists in order to make decisions on whether to send somebody to have a biopsy or not. You start to look at government or public sector, public service in many instances. In Australia, in the criminal justice area, we're working with many of the state and federal governments to start to look at how we can prioritize cases to allocate them legal assistance based on the experience and the priority of the lawyer and the defendant. In public defenders. If you start to then look at North America, providing government assistance to people who are being evicted from their homes. In this instance, providing rental assistance through the government, helping transform how the government employees were able to identify, find, and provide this assistance in a seamless fashion. In the state of North Carolina, millions of people benefit from this. And if you think about the employee experience for a lot of those employees, a lot of people are in public service because they want to serve citizens of their state, of their country. And now the tools and the technology allow them to reach and deliver that service to so many more people. Every aspect of digital is ultimately got a person behind it. So our philosophy in thinking about this is to ask the question, who are the people that are ultimately going to benefit from this? Who are the customers? Who are the citizens? Who are the patients? And who are the people who are providing the service?
Now I want to know about the key success for making digital transformation. What is in your mind for the key success?
I think when you think about the success factors, the first place I would start is the capabilities. And our belief in the context of digital transformation is there are 5 essential capabilities in order to build the strength and the muscle to continually transform. The first is, it's an acronym, it's called SPEED.
Speed.
And the first letter of SPEED, S. S stands for strategy. So being really clear what your strategy is, what the purpose of the transformation is, where are the value pools that you are trying to unlock so that you are clear on why you are doing what you're doing. The second letter, P, is product. And product is all about saying, many people think about digital transformation having a beginning and an end. And the reality is that's the world of projects. Project starts, project finishes. Digital transformation is about continuous improvement. And for us, the P stands for product. So it's bringing a product mindset to the company. So you're constantly evolving as a product.
Yeah.
The third letter is E, which is experience, which is about the experience of the employee, the experience of the customer, the experience of the organization, so that you look at every single aspect and really try to focus on what makes this product, service, experience really transformational. The next D is engineering. Lots of people think about digital transformation in the context of IT, but IT used to be about risk and cost. Engineering for us is about value and differentiation. So how do you create real value and differentiation through building this new world? And then the last letter is D, which is data and AI. So this is all about how do you actually respond to data and information coming into the organization and start to really evolve your business on a continuous basis. So the first success factor for me is building these 5 speed capabilities and partnering with an organization that can bring these capabilities to you in order to be successful. The second, really important criteria of success is recognizing that there is no end. This is very hard for many organizations, because companies historically are used to something starting and something ending. In this case, it's about constant evolution, and the rate of change and the scale of change continue to increase. So it gets faster and faster and more momentous. And this is about really building resilience to the idea of this continuous change. Another success factor is being really clear about the capability of leadership in the organization, from communication and setting the vision to also making sure that people see a future for themselves in this new world. Because so often digital sometimes comes across as a threat or something that is going to change or disrupt people's lives in a negative way. So it's about laying the foundations for how this can actually help make things better and allow you to focus on doing what you do better. And one of the final things I'll talk about is making sure that as an organization, you're really clear about every single stakeholder in this journey. So your customers, your investors, and society, and how you actually balance the priorities across these in the context of your transformation. Because so often you start to make decisions in one area, not recognizing the implications or the effects in another.
I think many people stepping to the digital world, and I think they want to go through the light at the edge of the tunnel. Finally, how the digital transformation can help Thailand and can help Thailand economy.
When you think about Thailand as a country, right, it's got a very young population. It's very diverse. It's in a number of sectors, from hospitality and in travel to actually the local economy of Thailand. And for me, digital creates amazing opportunities. I'll give you one example. In the pandemic, people couldn't actually work. There was a challenge from an employment perspective because so many of the businesses were not functioning. And then Siam Commercial Bank led the initiative to create Robinhood. And that was an example for me of a platform-based business bringing lots of riders into the ecosystem, creating new opportunities for new restaurants to serve different customers than they historically did. And it creates the ability to fundamentally create something that didn't exist before. And I think when you look at Thailand, like you look at many other countries, those opportunities exist in healthcare, they exist in government, they exist in energy, they exist in, like take another, simple example. How often is it that you find the power goes out or the lights go out and you don't know when the lights are going to come back? And a large part of that is because the grid, both the power grid in many parts of the world, are not digital. And so you know exactly how long the Uber or the car or Grab is going to take to get from one place to another,
Yes.
but you don't know when the power is going to come back. Every one of these is an opportunity to look at an industry or a sector and unlock huge amounts of potential.
Yesterday, I walked the bookstore and I found this book, Digital Business Transformation, and I found here, Nigel Watts. Is it you?
Yes.
This is your book?
Yes.
Wow. Could you please tell me what is it? What is inside here?
Sure.
This book.
I mean, the premise of this book is fundamentally talking about the fact that today there's a small group of companies which are natively digital, which are the haves, and the majority of companies in the world which are traditional, established businesses, which we've been around for a long time, who are the have-nots. And this book is essentially talking about how those companies who are established, those whom we like and love, in many instances existed for a long time, can fundamentally transform to be successful in this new world. So the book is titled Digital Business Transformation, How Established Companies Sustain Competitive Advantage. Because what we want to see is a lot more people buying and working with companies that are not only digital, but that have been around for a long time.
ผมคิดว่าผมจะต้องขอลายเซ็นเขาแล้วล่ะครับ Could you please sign for me
Sure, absolutely.
at the front page or in the inside page? Yes, let me see. Wow, thank you.
Sure thing.
Okay, and I want to say thank you to you,
Thank you.
for your knowledge today that share to everybody in Thailand.
Sure.
ขอบคุณมากครับ สวัสดีครับ
Thank you.
แล้วเราลากันไปตรงนี้ครับ พบกันใหม่ในคลิปต่อไปครับ สวัสดีครับ